For number 6, we have a question that tests your knowledge about list comprehensions, lists, indexing, and all sorts of good list stuff. So for our first question, we have a function called getTeamSkill. It takes in a team name, and what it's going to return is the team skill for that team name, or for that team with the team name. So if you look at the doc test, it gives us a list of multiple teams, and then getTeamSkill takes in one of those team names and then outputs the skill that's associated with that team name. So we have access to both teams and team name, and what we want to do is go through the list of teams, find the team that matches our team name, and then take the skill that is paired with that team. So we can do this with a list comprehension, because since we're forced to do it in one line, we have to do it in a list comprehension. Remember that a list comprehension is exactly the same as like a for loop. It's just kind of condensed, squished into one line. But nonetheless, it functions pretty much the same. So what we're gonna do is first say for team in teams, and I'm actually gonna write the if condition first, or next, because I know for sure that I want the team name to match the name of the team I'm looking at. So if team name equals team of 0, so we're looking at these individual lists, and that means the 0th index, which is also the first element, is going to carry the team name. So that's why I have equals team bracket 0. Okay, and so if we do find a team that matches the name we're looking for, then the team skill is going to be at the 1 index. So it's going to be the second element. Therefore, we should put that into our list. So this is one whole list comprehension, and you might think you're done at this point, but it's a really subtle thing that this thing will actually return a list while we're looking for a number, which in this case, in this example, is 2.0. And to get that actual number, we have to add another bracket, 0 bracket, because we want to get the single element in this list. So because we're assuming that these team names are unique, and there will only be one team with that name, there's only going to be one skill in the list, and we can just take that element out of the list by indexing it by the 0th index. Okay, so that's it for this question. And then moving on to calculate player score, we can see that we're given a player, and we also want to calculate this player's score. So if you look up at the directions earlier, it says that a player's score is the sum of the points, rebounds, and assists multiplied by the team skill factor of the team they play for. So we're going to have to figure out the points, rebounds, and assists. And if you look at this line, it tells you that each player is organized into a list of name, team name, points, rebounds, and assists. So we can figure out these three things first. So we're going to get the points, and that's player. Remember that it starts at 0 index, so it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to be dealing with 2, 3, and 4 here. Player 2 plus player 3 plus player 4. Okay, and now it's all multiplied by the team skill. And notice we just made that function. It's called getTeamSkill, so we're just going to use that. So times get team skill, and oh man, I'm running out of space. So I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. Okay. And now we have to pass in a team name. And conveniently, that's just going to be player 1. Okay, so this should give the whole player score, which is its points, rebounds, assists, and then times the team skill. Okay, and that satisfies the definition we saw earlier, which is great. Okay, so moving on to the last problem for this question. We have calculate team score. So we're going to be given teams and players, and we have to calculate the team score for all the teams given these players. So you can see that we get 200 from this call. Oops, 200. And these comments explain the breakdown. So we first have 40 plus 10 plus 20. So that's 70 times 2. So that's 140. And then this is 20 plus 20, 40 times 1.5, which is 60. So altogether that's 200. All right. And yeah, so that's because we have 2 players and they're on different teams. So we have Golden State and then we have LA Lakers. So these 2 teams' scores add up to 200. Alright, so first we have to define player score calculator. And just by looking at the name, you can kind of tell like what we should put here, because we just defined a function called calculate player score. And this whole function will return that function we defined. So knowing that, we can call NBA 1K score of teams. And by the way, this actually should not have team name here. I think it's like an older version of the exam. But if you look at the solution, it should just say teams. So that's why we only pass in one argument. Alright, so when we call NBA 1K score, it's going to give us this function, calculate player score. So using this, we can calculate any player score. So now what we want to do is sum up all of the player scores in the players list. Alright, so we have some kind of list comprehension. So we can do, let's say, player score calculator, player, and player, and players. And then to sum this up, we can just wrap it into a sum call, and we get sum. We get the total sum. And that's it for this question.